All right, welcome back to the vlog. This is our frequent check-in with my pregnant female boa constrictor, Roxanne. She is a blood salmon, and she is due to give birth to her babies on May the 7th. So we'll see if she delivers on the actual due date based on calculating the days post-ovulatory shed, or she might go a couple extra days. In my experience, they will usually either be right on schedule or a few days late. You don't want them to go early because you want these babies to absorb inside of her. The babies are in like a membrane where they've got everything that they need. And when they come out, they'll come out in this membrane, and then they kind of just like poke through the membrane and take their first breath and all that. And a lot of them will still have part of the yolk attached to their umbilical cord, which is inside the membrane, when they come out. So if you have a premature litter, you're going to have less, you're going to have like undeveloped babies, or so they'll come out with more yolk that still needs to be absorbed. So basically, they come out smaller and they're just not as strong. So you want them. Sorry about the dog, the neighbor. She hears the neighbors. Some babies will come out, and if there's too much yolk still, they might take several hours to absorb that yolk after they come out of the egg, and then you want to kind of carefully, snip it off and detach it from them. So the idea is the longer they go, the bigger they're going to be, and the more developed they're going to be, and they're not going to come out with a large egg mass that still needs to be absorbed. So, taking a look at her thickness, she's not as big as snakes that I've had in the past that are pregnant. So in the past, I've had litters, 26 to 31 babies. I don't see her having more than, I'm going to say 13 or 14. I could be wrong, but she just doesn't she's just not as large of a snake. And like when I think back with Farah, my super salmon, she looked like a deflated inner tube, where she was just like low profile and just wide and flat. Whereas Roxanne here she's not as wide and not as flat. So that tells me one of two things. She doesn't have a large litter, or, hopefully she's not carrying a bunch of slugs. So when a snake ovulates, that's the time of fertilization. And if the fertilization doesn't happen, they'll basically develop slugs, which are, undeveloped eggs. They're unfertilized eggs. And they'll carry them, not usually to the full term. A lot of times they'll expel them before the actual due date. And other times you'll get some live babies, but you might get more slugs. So I am hoping that this girl is just a little bit smaller than the snakes I've had in the past. I've seen other people have snakes that looked like her and, just have a smaller litter. So because I don't have an ultrasound, I can't tell. But if I had an ultrasound, or if I was close to some friends that did, they would come over with their ultrasound, and they could basically tell me what's going on in there. You'll see the bones, you'll see the skeleton, so there's babies in there. There's also ways to listen to the heartbeat of babies. So having an ultrasound is, really, really helpful for, reasons like this, where you can tell what's in there. And also, you can measure the size of the follicles. So when you're getting close to breeding season, rather than just put them together on November 1st after you cool them down, and just kind of say, okay, the male's going to do his thing, if you measure their follicles with the ultrasound, then you'll know when the females are basically, developing those follicles to the point where, this is the time they should be with a male. So an ultrasound will tell you that. So that way you'll know, make sure you got enough food in her, and you'll know when the right time to put the male in, with her is. And if you see really small follicles and the male's in with her, then there's really no reason to leave the male in with her for a long period of time. And then you can give him a rest or put him on a different female. So ultrasound is definitely a tool that the really successful breeders out there utilize. And I definitely plan on getting one for many, many reasons. So, all right. Well, anyway, I hope everybody's having a good week. Happy Friday. We will keep our fingers crossed that come May 7th, this girl's going to deliver a nice, healthy litter. And as it gets closer to that date, basically the baby should start to kind of move closer to her tail, move down her body a little bit as they get closer to, to being ready to come out. So, my gut is she's going to have healthy babies. I just don't think she's going to have a huge litter. Like I said, maybe 12, 13. So we'll see. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And sorry for the dog barking. Neighbor comes home about this time. I work from home. And when the neighbor comes home, little Kayla, the dachshund, has to start barking her head off. So, all right, everybody. Have a great day. Hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell for future notifications, and we will talk to you soon.